Hello everyone and welcome to the Life Stories channel. Today we are talking about arguably one of the greatest basketball players of all time, and that's Lebron James. James was born on December 30th, 1984 in Akron, Ohio, to Gloria Marie James, who was 16 at the time of his birth. His father, Anthony McClelland, has an extensive criminal record and was not involved in his life. When James was growing up, life was often a struggle for the family as they moved from apartment to apartment in the seedier neighborhoods of Akron, while Gloria struggled to find steady work. Realizing that her son would be better off in a more stable family environment, Gloria allowed him to move in with the family of Frank Walker, which was a local youth football coach who introduced James to basketball when he was 9 years old. James began playing organized basketball in the 5th grade. He later played amateur athletic union basketball for the Northeast Ohio Shooting Stars. The team enjoyed success on a local and national level, led by James and his friends Sean Cotton, Drew Joyce, and Willie McGee. The group dubbed themselves the Fab Four and promised each other that they would attend high school together. In a move that stirred local controversy, they chose to attend St. Vincent St. Mary High School, a private Catholic school with predominantly white students. As a freshman, James averaged 21 points and 6 rebounds per game for the St. Vincent St. Mary varsity basketball team. The Fighting Irish went 27-0 en route to the Division III state title, making them the only boys' high school team in Ohio to finish the season undefeated. As a sophomore, James averaged 25.2 points and 7.2 rebounds with 5.8 assists and 3.8 steals per game. The Fighting Irish finished the season 26-1 and repeated as state champions. For his outstanding play, James was named Ohio Mr. Basketball and selected to the USA Today All-USA First Team, becoming the first sophomore to do either. Before the start of his junior year, James was featured in Slam, an American basketball magazine, and writer Ryan Jones lauded him as possibly the best high school basketball player in America right now. During the season, James also appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated, becoming the first high school basketball underclassman to do so. With averages of 29 points, 8.3 rebounds, 5.7 assists, and 3.3 steals per game, he was again named Ohio Mr. Basketball and selected to the USA Today All-USA First Team, and became the first junior to be named Male Basketball Gatorade National Player of the Year. James was selected by his hometown team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, as the first overall pick of the 2003 NBA draft. And in his first regular season game, he scored 25 points against the Sacramento Kings, setting an NBA record for most points scored by a prep-to-pro player in his debut performance. James earned his first NBA All-Star Game selection in 2004 to 2005, contributing 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists in a winning effort for the Eastern Conference. Around the league, teams took note of his rapid development, with Denver Nuggets coach George Karl telling Sports Illustrated, "It's weird talking about a 20-year-old being a great player, but he is a great player. He's the exception to almost every rule." James became an unrestricted free agent at 1 minute past 12 in the morning on July 1st, 2010. During this time, he was contacted by several teams, including the Bulls, the Los Angeles Clippers, Miami Heat, New York Knicks, New Jersey Nets, and the Cavaliers. On July the 8th, he announced on a live ESPN special titled The Decision that he would sign with the Heat. The telecast was broadcast from the Boys and Girls Club of Greenwich, Connecticut, and raised $2.5 million for the charity. An additional $3.5 million was raised from advertising revenue, which was donated to other charities. Upon leaving the Cavaliers, James drew intense criticism from sports analysts, executives, fans, and current and former players, because the decision itself was also scrutinized and viewed as unnecessary. Many thought that the prolonged wait of James's choice was unprofessional, as not even the teams courting him were aware of his decision until moments before the show. Upon learning that James would not be returning to Cleveland, Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert published an open letter to fans in which he aggressively denounced James's action. Some angry fans of the team recorded videos of themselves burning his jersey. Former NBA players including Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson were also critical of James, condemning him for joining with Bosh and Wade in Miami and not trying to win a championship as the man. James drew further criticism in a September interview with CNN when he claimed that race might have been a factor in the fallout from the decision. As a result of his actions during the 2010 free agency period, he quickly gained a reputation as one of America's most disliked athletes, which was a radical change from prior years. The phrase, "taking my talents to South Beach," became a punchline for critics. In retrospect, James has expressed some regret over his handling of the decision. In an interview with Sports Illustrated, James's agent, Rich Paul, explained in 2010 when he went to Miami, it was about championships. In 2014, when he went back to Cleveland, it was about delivering on a promise. And in 2018, it was just about doing what he wants. Reaction on the move was more positive than his original departure from the Cavaliers, albeit still mixed, as some onlookers felt that Los Angeles was not his optimal destination. The Lakers expected James to make them championship contenders again after having missed the playoffs since 2014 and not appearing in the finals since 2010. Following his signing, the team rounded out their roster with a controversial selection of playmakers and veterans, and as a result, to begin the 2018-2019 season, the team struggled to find effective lineups and recorded only 2 wins through their first 7 games. In November, they began a turnaround, which included 2 of James's strongest performances of the season. On November 14th, he registered 44 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists in a victory against the Portland Trail Blazers, and 4 days later he scored a season-high 51 points in a win over the Heat. After blowing out the Warriors on Christmas Day, Los Angeles improved their record to 20-14, but James suffered a groin injury, the first major injury of his career. He ultimately missed a career-high 17 consecutive games, and the Lakers fell out of the playoff contention without him. The team was unable to recover and failed to qualify for the postseason, marking the first time that James missed the playoffs since 2005 and the first time he failed to reach the finals since 2010. On December 31st, 2020, James became the first player in NBA history to score 10 points or more in 1,000 consecutive games in a 121-107 win against San Antonio Spurs. 2 months later, he became the third player in NBA history with 35,000 career points, with only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Karl Malone on the list. Throughout his career, James has been ranked by Forbes as one of the world's most influential athletes. In 2017, he was listed by Time as one of the 100 most influential people in the world. Memorabilia associated with James is highly sought after. 2 of James's rookie cards are among the most expensive basketball cards ever sold at auction. One of those cards also briefly held the record for the most expensive modern-day sports card when it sold for $1.8 million at auction in July 2020. In March 2008, James became the first black man and 3rd man overall after Richard Gere and George Clooney to appear on the cover of Vogue when he posed with Gisele Bündchen. In response, ESPN columnist Jamel Hill considered the cover offensive and memorable for the wrong reasons, describing the demeanor of James and his holding of Bündchen as a reference to classic imagery of the movie monster King Kong, a dark savage capturing his light-skinned love interest. James is an active supporter of non-profit organizations including After School All-Stars, Boys and Girls Clubs of America, and Children's Defense Fund. He also has his own charity, the Lebron James Family Foundation, which is based in Akron. Since 2005, the foundation has held an annual bike-a-thon to raise money for various causes. In 2015, James announced a partnership with the University of Akron to provide scholarships for as many as 2,300 children beginning in 2021. In 2016, he donated $2.5 million to the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture to support an exhibit on Muhammad Ali. In 2017, he received the J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award from the NBA for his outstanding service and dedication to the community. Standing 6 feet tall and 9 inches and weighing 250 pounds, James has played the majority of his career at the small forward and power forward positions, but has also been deployed at the other positions when necessary. His playing style, which is athletic and versatile, has drawn comparisons to Hall of Famers Oscar Robertson, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan. And as of September 2020, James's career averages are 27.1 points, 7.4 rebounds, 7.4 assists, 1.6 steals, and 0.8 blocks per game. Since 2011, he has been ranked the best player in the NBA by ESPN and Sports Illustrated. James has 3 children with Savannah Brinson, his high school sweetheart, Bronny, Bryce, and Zuri. James proposed to Brinson on December 31st, 2011, and the two were married on September 14th, 2013 in San Diego, California. And that's it today, guys. If you like this, then please make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.